What's up everyone, welcome back to another video. We're in the final few days of preparation ahead of game week 1, so I'm going to show you my latest draft. Welcome back to another video everyone. We are in the final few days before the start of the season. I'm going to chat you through my latest draft, the players I've picked, why I've decided to go with some of the changes that I have made since the last time I made one of these. So we'll go through the 15 players I've got, I'll show you the transfers that I've made, and we'll finally look at the team selection, who I plan on starting, who I plan on putting my vice captain on, and who my captain will be for game week 1. So going into it, at the moment I have Sanchez of Brighton and Foster in my two goalkeeper spots. Foster 4.0 goalkeeper, unlikely to get very many minutes, and he can happily sit on my bench. But Sanchez has been a bit of a difficult decision whether I go with another 4.5 goalkeeper or I go with Sanchez to start the season. However, Brighton just have such a nice start to the season, and I think none of their defenders I particularly want from an attacking point of view. So I've gone with Sanchez at 4.5 million in goal. I think there's good clean sheet potential. He makes some saves, but it's mainly those sort of 6-point returns that we'll be getting from him. But at that price and the fixtures they've got, he had to come into my team. In defence, the first one we've got is Luke Shaw of Manchester United. Now, the most highly owned player in the game at the moment, coming in at 5.5 million. They have a great start to the season. Shaw has attacking threat and then that clean sheet potential that comes with those fixtures, that comes with the start to the season, and the signing of Rafa Varane to help that defensive solidity as well. So hopefully some goals or assists for Luke Shaw to start the season. It seems like he's fully fit, ready to go for next weekend. So 5.5 million is straight in my team. Next up is another 5.5 million to partner Luke Shaw, another one that does similar things. He has goal threat, clean sheet potential and assists, and that is Luca Dean. Last season he got 9 assists throughout the course of the season, which is a great return for a defender, and actually he may have even more this season because he's on more set pieces than he was last season. So 5.5 million, again, the fixtures really speak to me that Everton have. I think there's a lot of clean sheet possibilities for them, and if Luca Dean can add a few attacking returns on top of that at the start of the season, then again at 5.5 million, another really nice option on top of Shaw. Next up, we have Luke Ayling of Leeds, a 4.5 million option. I don't plan on playing him every week, but I think out of all the 4.5 options, he has the best chance of combining, again, attacking threat and clean sheet points. Again, I don't think I'll be playing him very often given the other defenders that I've got in my team, but he's happy there just to sit on my bench. Leeds were good defensively, particularly at home last season, so 4.5 million is a good price for him. There are some others that I'm considering, like Ben White of Arsenal, for example, but I just like Ayling and the attacking threat he gets, playing at right back, getting down that right hand side and putting some crosses into the box. Fourth defender on the list, again a premium option we've got here, is Trent Alexander-Arnold, coming in at 7.5 million. Liverpool's start to the season is just so nice. I can't not have at least one of their defenders in my team. I have had Robertson in a few of my drafts as well as Trent, but Trent is the one that's always in there every single draft that I make. We know what he can do with the attacking threat, with corners, with free kicks from open play, goals and assists. He's got the lot, and now with Van Dijk coming back into the defence, I think their clean sheet possibilities go up and up. So it'll allow Trent to get forward more whilst also having a bit more of that clean sheet potential. They've looked really good in pre-season, Liverpool. Trent has bulked up a lot, so I expect a really big season from them, and they have a great start to the season as well. So there's a lot of opportunities for Trent to start the season running, and if you don't have him, I really would consider getting him in. Next up, to complete quite a premium defence, is Soufal of West Ham. Now, it's been recently that I've realised quite how good some of those opening fixtures for West Ham are, and they were very good last season, both defensively and attacking wise. So Soufal at 5 million is a really nice option. I've spoken a little bit about Soufal versus Cresswell in some of my recent videos, but I think at 5 million, the right wing back has a lot of opportunities to get attacking returns. However, in the most recent preseason game, they did play a 4 at the back system, which is a slight concern for me. So I may have to keep an eye out on that if we get any news about what system we think they're going to play. But at the moment, Soufal completes my 5-man defence. Into the midfield, we have two 4.5 million options, and I've gone with Gilmour and Brownhill. Both of them are nailed to be starting. Gilmour at Norwich and Brownhill at Burnley. And then they do have a little bit of attacking threat. Gilmour's looked really great, linking passes, getting into the box as well for Norwich in pre-season. And Brownhill again playing attacking midfield, or normally on the right-hand side as well for Burnley. So they can sit on my bench, but if they ever have to play, they do have a chance of getting an assist or a goal as well. So really nice options, especially as it helps really strengthen my bench. Next up in my midfield, we have Rafinha of Leeds at 6.5 million. At the moment, it's Rafinha, but this could be any 6.5 million. I'm not quite nailed on deciding it. Dele Alli looked really good in pre-season over the weekend, so he could get it given the good opening fixtures that Tottenham have. And then Son has looked very good as well, so potentially Dele Alli could use a bit of an option to cover the Heung-min Son points that could be coming early into the season. But Rafinha, we know how good he is. Leeds can score goals against anyone. Rafinha is on set pieces as well. So 6.5 million is a really nice option. And if I can't find someone else and I don't want to take as much of a risk on someone like Dele Alli, Rafinha is definitely the good 6.5 million option that I could go with. Next up, we have Mo Salah of Liverpool, of course, the second most highly owned player in the game. 12.5 million. Again, I really recommend you having this guy on your team. He's such a good captaincy option for about 4 or 5 of the first 6 game weeks, so you don't really need to worry about other captaincy options that much. He's so consistent. As I said, Liverpool have looked really good in pre-season, although it has mainly been Jota and Mane getting in amongst the goals recently, but I think Salah is definitely going to get returns. He's on penalties as well, the occasional set piece, but that open play goal threat, he is the number one. He's been in the Golden Boot race for the past 3 seasons since he's joined Liverpool, so I expect him to be again, and he's straight in my team. To complete the midfield, we've got Bruno Fernandes of Manchester United, so 12 million for this midfielder. Again, we know what he's capable of. I think it's much easier to start with Fernandes and look to sell him later on if we don't quite think the returns are there, than try and stretch to him if you don't start the season with him. Mainly set pieces at the moment seems to be where he's getting his points from, but we know what he can do from open play as well. He's so creative, making those passes and everything like that. So 12 million, he was definitely in there, given their fixtures and given he was the most high scoring FPL player last season. Just before we move on to the forward line, the league code below is for my monthly prize free to enter league. It's for subscribers only, so if you want to have a chance of winning vouchers every single month, join that league code and subscribe as always. Into the forward line, the first one we have is Danny Ings. Now, it feels like Watkins potentially went off with an injury in their recent preseason game. When Dia doesn't look like he's necessarily going to be ready fit, and he wasn't in the squad for that Aston Villa match. And Leon Bailey, the other attacker, again, wasn't in the squad. So it feels like Danny Ings is the most nailed and actually the only fit player in that Aston Villa attack at the moment. It is very rare that you say Ings is the only fit player. It's normally that Ings is the only injured player in a lineup, but 8 million, really nice price for him. He's probably on penalties if El Ghazi isn't starting. El Ghazi might have to start the start of the season, but I think Ings will take them as soon as El Ghazi goes off the pitch. So 8 million, he's so clinical. They'll create chances for him and he'll just put them in the back of the net. I can't see myself going into the season without Danny Ings, given how good the start to the season is for Aston Villa from a fixture point of view. To combine with him, we have Ivan Toney of Brentford coming in at 6.5 million. Really nice price for him. He did miss the pre-season game. However, the manager has come out and said he expects him to be back ready for the match on Friday night, and it was a bit of a precaution just not to risk him before that Arsenal game. So Toney at 6.5. There aren't many other forwards at that price that I like, so he's definitely in my team to allow me to have a bit of budget to spend elsewhere. I don't love their opening fixtures, but again, that price, what he did in the Championship, he has good potential to be this season's cheap budget forward that we all look for. The final forward that we have is Mikel Antonio of West Ham to combine with Soufal. Again, I've really started to focus on how good the West Ham fixtures are recently, and Antonio's been scoring some goals in pre-season along with Ben Rama, who is a bit of a differential in midfield if you are looking for one. But Antonio at 7.5 million, the main goal threat in that West Ham team, definitely comes into my lineup. They have a good start to the season, as I said. 7.5 million is a nice price, and it will allow me to jump sideways if Callum Wilson, for example, starts really well, or Calvert-Lewin does really well. It will allow me to have a good flexibility with having all 3 of these forwards in my team. So that's how I line up, but let's have a look at the transfers I've made and how I'll actually line up for game week 1. So the transfers I've made, the first one, I sold Bachmann of Watford for Sanchez of Brighton. There has been a recent pre-season game for Bachmann where Watford didn't look that great, and Sanchez, we know he's more reliable, he's a bit more proven. I think Bachmann has potential to be a nice option for us this season, but I'm going into the season with a bit more of a reliable, proven asset in Sanchez. Because I've gone Sanchez in goal, it's allowed me to sell Veltman in my defence, and I've gone for Soufal. I think the attacking threat is there. West Ham are good defensively. I do just want to make sure they're playing a 5 at the back versus a 4 at the back, which has happened recently in pre-season, but I still think he's a nice option nonetheless. In midfield and up front, I've done a sort of bit of a switch. So I've done Son down to Gilmour and Obafemi up to Antonio. So I do really like Son. I just can't afford him at the moment in my team. So I have gone with Antonio. As I mentioned, I really like their fixtures. I think he's the main goal threat for West Ham, of course, playing up front, aerial and on the ball as well. So 7.5 million, he's a really nice price, and it is quite flexible with other forwards as well. The other transfer I made was Sarr to Rafinha, so I used 0.5 that I had spare and I upgraded Sarr to Rafinha. I think this is a really nice option. I know Sarr is a good pick and I've talked about him a lot, but Rafinha is a bit more reliable. I think he's probably going to outscore Sarr this season. But the main thing about this draft is it leaves me with 1.5 million in the bank. Now I could put this into someone, but looking at my starting 11, I don't know exactly where I want to upgrade. And actually leaving £1.5 million in the bank will make my team so flexible for the start of the season that if someone does very well in that midfield bracket or up front or even in defence, I can easily make that switch from one player to another because I've already got that money in the bank. Now, a lot of you will think that seems like a crazy strategy, but at the moment, I don't know where I want to spend it, so I'd rather leave it in the bank than upgrade someone on my bench, for example. So it's got 1.5 million, and I actually really like the team as a whole anyway. So just in terms of how that will line up, so we've got a 4-3-3. We start with Trent, Soufal, Shaw and Luka Dean, 4 really attacking options with great fixtures and clean sheet potential in front of Sanchez in goal. Midfield 3 of Fernandes, Salah and Rafinha. Again, really nice options there with good fixtures apart from maybe Rafinha. And then Ings, Antonio and Ivan Toney up front with Brownhill, Gilmore and Ayling sitting on my bench. So again, having 1.5 million despite having this great starting lineup I really like. I could spend it somewhere, but it allows me to be really flexible for the start of the season. So I probably don't plan on spending it, and I do really like this draft. I finally found one that I think allows me that flexibility that I had whilst also having really nice options in my team. So that's all we've got time for. I hope you have enjoyed. As always, there'll be videos every single day, plus live streams. There'll be one this evening after this video goes live. So do hit that subscribe button with notifications so you get reminded. Help me get as close to 10K before the start of the season. But always like and subscribe, and I will see you all tomorrow.